Okay guys, so in this lesson we're going to take a look at rational exponents. So the word rational means that it's going to be a fraction. So if I want to convert these roots to a rational exponent, let's just take this real quick. The nth root of, let's call it a to the b, just a general format. So the way we would write this is a to the b over n power, okay? So just keep that in mind as you go through and do these example problems. So square root is to the 1/2 power, so we'd write it as 8 to the 1/2 power. This one we write 5 to the 8/3 power. Remember the root index goes on the bottom. And this is all being raised to the 3rd power. So this would be 3x quantity to the 3/4 power. Okay, now it says write the following rational exponents as radicals. Okay, so this is to the 1/5 power, so we rewrite that as the 5th root of 4. The next one, we rewrite that as the cube root of 16 to the 5th power. And we rewrite this as the 4th root of 5xy squared all to the 3rd power. Now, if you wanted to simplify this, you could distribute this power out to everything, but we're not going to do that. We're just trying to convert in between the two forms. The main ones that you're going to be dealing with is going to be the 1/2 power, the 1/4 power, 1/5 power, that sort of thing. Okay, now I want to evaluate these expressions without a calculator. So the way you do this without a calculator is like 4 to the 3/2 power. This says take the square root of 4. So square root of 4 is 2. 2 to the 3rd power is 8. And that's how we do it mentally. Okay, so 9 to the 1/2 power means we take the square root. So square root of 9 is 3. Now, since it's to the negative power, that means we drop it to the bottom, like that. So it's 1/3. Cube 8 to the 2/3 power. So this says take the cube root of 8, which is 2. 2 squared is 4. Okay, 5th root of 32 is 2. 2 to the 2 power is 4. Since it's negative, we drop it down to the bottom, so it's 1/4. Okay, you need to make sure you know how to do this for your SAT mentally. It shows up, I promise. Okay, now when we're doing exponents, when we multiply exponents, we add the exponents. When we divide, we subtract the exponents. If it's a power to a power, we're going to multiply. Okay, so we're looking at our first example. 5 to the 3/4 power times 5 to the 1/4 power. Now, in order to add and subtract exponents and do all that fancy stuff, it has to be the same base. Okay, so I'm going to add the exponents because I'm multiplying. So 5 to the 4/4 power, 4 over 4 is 1. So 5 to the 1 power is just 5. Okay. Next one, a to the 1/2, b to the 2/3, and it's all raised to a 6th power. So this is what we call a power to a power. Okay. So on a power to a power, we're going to multiply. So I'm going to distribute this 6 out to each term. So a to the 6/2, b to the 12/3. Okay. 6 over 2 is 3. 12 over 3 is 4. Next one, we're going to distribute this 1/3 power to each of these terms. Okay, 27 to the 1/3 power is 3. C to the 6th power times 1/3. 6 times 1/3 is 2. Negative 3 times 1/3 is d to the negative 1. Now, generally, whenever we're talking about exponents, we don't write exponents with a negative power. We drop it down to the bottom of the fraction. So we would rewrite this as 3c squared over d. Okay, next one. We can do this a couple different ways. You can either distribute the power to everything, or you can simplify your fraction first. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to distribute the power. So 8 to the 2/3 power. Cube root of 8 is 2. 2 squared is 4. And move on to the a term. 12 times 2/3. Okay, 12 times 2 is 24. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Okay, cube root of 27 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2/3 is going to be 18 over 3, which is 6. And that's how we do it. These get a little bit tricky because you have to stay organized, okay? Now, if we have something that's like this and we're multiplying, I'm going to do the numbers first. So 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to deal with my x terms next. X to the negative 2/3 times x to the 1/3. We're going to add the exponents. Negative 2/3 plus 1/3 is a negative 1/3. 2/3 plus negative 1/3 is to the positive 1/3. Now we're going to write it as positive exponents, so we're going to drop that down to the bottom. Okay, and if you want to write those as cube roots, feel free to, or you can leave it like that. I'm okay with it, as long as you know that anything to the 1/3 power is the same thing as writing a cube root. Okay, x to the negative 1/5 times x to the 2/5 times x to the negative 3/5. We're going to add our exponents because we're multiplying. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 minus 3 is a negative 2/5. That. And I'm going to drop it down to the bottom. Like that, because we write negative exponents. We just drop it down to the bottom. Okay. Negative 3 divided by 6 is a negative 1/2. Okay. And a to the 2/7 divided by a to the 8/7. So we're going to subtract the exponents. So the way I like to do this, let me just show you how I like to do this one. Okay, so a to the 2/7 minus 8/7 is a negative 6/7. Okay, and then I like to rewrite it like this. Okay, that exponent on the bottom and make it negative. That's just the way I do it. You might have been taught a little bit differently, but I think that's the easiest way to look at it. Okay, so this has been rational exponents and converting in between rational exponents and root form. Make sure you know how to do this section mentally without a calculator. Remember, like this example, square root of 4 is 2. 2 cubed is 8. Okay, so that's the process we're doing. If it's a negative exponent, we're going to reciprocate it, and we're going to drop it down to the bottom. Okay, so hopefully you'll have a good night. Thanks.